Hello, everyone. This is the Abundance Oracle. Please like, subscribe, and share. I'm really looking for more subscribers. It helps me out. All right. I was just about to turn the news on. I watch the news a lot. It's one of my things for making money, and it's sort of a habit of mine. And I thought, I never shared with anybody the thing when I was really broke, single mom, what I did, because it wasn't okay for me, no matter what my financial condition was at the time. It wasn't fair. And as you know, their father's not well, so it was just me. And so we needed to grow my kids. I wanted to have them do gymnastics classes. And I firmly believe that gymnastics teaches you balance. You can use for things. It strengthens your muscles. So it's just good for a lot of things. It helps you with ice skating. It helps you with running, everything. Okay, here we go. So what I used to do is I used to call up our grocery store. It was a grocery store chain. It was called Stop and Shop. And I didn't have the money to pay the monthly bills. I didn't have the monthly bills for the gymnastic classes. I should say, be more definitive on what that was. And then also they were doing competitions. And so the competitions, all the moms would drive, because when they were really young, it was just all the moms used to drive. And the gas at the time was a lot of money to get them back and forth places. And I remember going up to Tropics at the time, and I had a Honda Element. And that car, when it got down to empty, cost me $40 to fill it. And when you're broke, $40 is a lot of money. So I called Stop and Shop up and I said, I'd really like to see if I can raise money for my kids. This is what they're doing. This is the athletic company that they're going with. They've done very well, and they had done very well. They won regionals eventually. One of them wanted to do the Olympics. But anyway, and they said, okay, well, you can come from noon to 2 on Saturday and ask people for donations. So what I did is I had the kids. I said, now we're going to ask people for donations, but you always want to give people something in exchange for their kindness to helping you out. So let's go look and see what toys you have that you will no longer use, or stuffed animals, or things that you can give to them and say thank you. Look them in the eye and say thank you when they contributed to helping you out towards your goal of raising money to be able to do your athletics. So we did that, and we would go Saturday mornings, and Stop and Shop said, okay, well, you've got to call each individual location. Well, every Saturday morning, that was our entertainment. And I said, okay, girls, put on your, your uniform, and we're going to put some pictures and show people. We made a little poster so people could see what we did. And I would set up a little table for them, and they'd put their little presents for everyone just on the table. And so it ended up that the men would give us $20 and say they didn't need a little gift, but a lot of the moms came through holding their kids on their hips, and so they would give us $2, $3, $4, $5 sometimes, and we'd say, well, do you want to pick one out? And the kids would always be so happy. So it's a win-win situation. My kids hated to do that so very much, and were terribly embarrassed because on occasion, not every weekend, but on occasion, they would see somebody they knew. Now, in the meantime, I got to the point of, okay, I need to figure this out. I need to do this. And of course, I would stay and make sure everything was safe for them, etc. And I did it. I don't know how I did it, but that was one of the things I did to raise money. And Stop and Shop was generous to let us come and ask for assistance from people, to donate. It really developed my children, and they learned how to win and they learned how to lose. It was really hard for us, but it developed character for me, for them. And not only this, but there was a year when they were smaller that the Olympics were thinking of either adding in baseball or cheerleading to the Olympics. And one of my daughters came and said, I want to go to the Olympics, Mom. And so I said, oh, honey, sure. Well, and so for the cheerleading team, because she didn't play baseball. So I said, okay, well, we figured out who's the best team in the country and who would be the teams probably invited to go. So I said, okay, send in your, I don't know what you call them, video thing, because tryouts are going to be in a month. Send them your video and tell them, you really would like to be on the team, the preparatory team or whatever they called it. And so, oh my gosh, 3 weeks later, I got a phone call. Hello, Mrs. Boo. We would like to let you know that one of your daughters has actually made the team. And we would like her to come, and they would start in whenever it was. At the time, we were living in Connecticut, and the team was in Texas. So I'm thinking, and the coach was on the phone and said, may I please speak to her? And I said, yes. I yelled upstairs, oh, come down. Oh my gosh, they were so excited. Well, to make a long story short, are you going to say to your kids, well, I'm sorry, we can't upend our total whole life and move? Or are you going to say, good job? So I said, good job. Save all your boxes and start packing. So I took, within 2, maybe it was 3 months, put my house up for sale and moved to Texas, flew down, and in one day I had to pick out a house, and I had to remember, you're poor, so you don't have money for babysitters to take care of the kids. So it was a big favors. I had to ask for different moms. So I flew down, I looked at all the houses, I had a real estate broker with me. I put an offer at the end of my tour, and they called back and said, I got the house. So we were very excited, and it led to that one of my girls becoming, excuse me, a real heavy-duty professional athlete now. So when she graduated, she went to the University of Alabama, and COVID came along, and she ended up not going to the Olympics, and she decided, she went to University of Alabama, which I don't know if you know, their cheerleaders are really good, and they invited her to, come try out, and she decided she wasn't going to do that because they were, college cheerleaders, not like professional. She was more like a professional floor mat gymnast cheerleader. So she said, I'm going to get into a sorority. So she decided that, and she went into the sorority. After she graduated from college, she said to me, I sort of miss that, um, Mom. And the Celtics have cheerleaders. I haven't really done anything for 5 years. What do you think? I said, oh, for sure. They'll love you. You're way overqualified. She said, oh, I don't know. I don't know. So she made it the first year. And then by the second year, they asked her to be captain. And she felt that it wouldn't be right for her to do that because she was like the new woman on the block. So she turned them down. And that's the year that she cheered with them when they won the NBA. So it was very exciting. And then that was her 2 years. She stopped. And the next year she said, I think I'll run a marathon, Mom. She's just a professional athlete. And that's her side hustle. So anyway, it's an interesting story. I never told anybody that, but it tests the kids' greatness, tests your ability to ebb and flow, get new jobs, move, and all this when you have no money and you're a single mom. So you can do it. It just may take you operating differently and sometimes giving up your pride. But my kids have turned out so much better had I not done that. This is the Abundance Oracle. Love you all and be great. Love ya. Bye.